Greetings, everyone. Jake Bernstein here with the weekly Chimpcast for the week beginning Monday, 31st of August. Recording is being made Sunday, shortly after market openings in the PM, to be exact 4:23 p.m. in Santa Cruz, California. As you can see from my screen, S&P futures are already down 24.5, 24.75, having been even lower than that. The Dow futures are down 197 points. So here we go again, another volatile day, but put it in context. So let's take a look at the S&P mini. I'm going to go to the chart now. I'm going to ask the question. On the daily chart, this is where we are today, which makes the moves that we saw last week, which makes the move that we're seeing right now small by comparison to last week. And it is true that the daily trend remains down with resistance at the top of the moving average channel, which is where I've put my line right now. I'll show you. So that's resistance right at the top of the channel. If you're a trader, this is an incredible trading market. Place your orders to buy well below the channel and you may get filled. Many traders learned a very sad lesson last week. A limit order to sell below the market becomes a market order when it's hit, or if the price goes through it. A limit buy order to cover a short, for example, becomes a market order when it's hit. So therefore, as in the case of our JetBlue recommendation, even though the recommendation was much higher than where the market opened, the fill would be on the open or thereabouts. So remember, a limit order to sell below the market becomes a market order if the price is hit or if it drops through that price. Learn that lesson. If you're going to trade this market with all the volatility and you're going to use the moving average channel, don't be afraid to place your orders at ridiculously low levels to buy if the trend remains up, and you may get filled. Make no mistake about it, this volatility is here to stay for a while. But as an investor, we go to the weekly chart. We can see that the weekly chart is still up. It would take two complete consecutive bars to turn this trend lower. The bar that is building right now hasn't even finished yet. That won't happen until next Friday. So the weekly trend remains up. The monthly trend, we came right down to the bottom of the moving average channel and below it. So in our view, stocks are a very great bargain in many cases, but use the monthly chart to enter. So for example, if we're trying to buy a stock like ADM, Archer Daniels Midland, which I'm putting on the screen right now, you want to go to the bottom of the monthly channel, and you can see that it's already below that price, which makes it a bargain right here. The risk would be twice the width of the channel width being 46.40 to 51.13 as of the end of last week. So you're talking about approximately a $4.50, $5 risk times 2. That's what you need to consider before you make these trades. I want to get back to the S&P now, again, and show you the quarterly chart. Because the most important thing is, has the long-term trend changed? Everything we're looking at says that the long-term trend has not changed. This is the quarterly chart. In fact, we just came down very close to long-term quarterly support last week. So last week we told you, don't panic, it's a trading market. Continue to have that attitude toward the market. Now let's talk about gold for just a quick second here. We told you also that this is the time of the year for gold. So let's look at it objectively. I'm going to bring up the gold chart. We're going to go to a daily of the December contract. Remember, the seasonal begins right about now and tends to last until the end of September, sometimes until October. So bringing up the daily chart, which is right over here, you can see what happened. We went into an uptrend with 2 bars above the top of the channel. We confirmed that uptrend with Williams. We came down to buy at support, and that's where we are right now. So as far as we're concerned, the short-term trend in the gold is higher. The fact that we traded below Williams traded below its moving average is not significant because we did not have 2 complete consecutive price bars below the bottom of the channel. We also told you to watch stocks like Freeport-McMoRan. As you know, Freeport had a very huge explosive move last week based on the rumor or fact that is that Carl Icahn was buying the company, buying shares in the company, and that may very well be true. We did get a momentum divergence buy trigger, so the possibility is that Freeport-McMoRan has bottomed. In terms of other markets, let's look at the energies. When you have a market that's been down as much as the crude oil has been, which I'm going to show you the futures right now, to get these kind of moves where we had a $4 up move in one day is no surprise. Consider the fact that a lot of the energy stocks may have bottomed along with this crude oil, and we'll be looking to make recommendations there. That pretty much does it in terms of the big picture. Go to our specific recommendations to get the trades. Continue to monitor these markets from the long side. Trade from the long side. Nothing has changed in our view. Very emotional market. It will continue to be that way. Remember that market sentiment is extremely low right now. So if I go, for example, to a chart of market sentiment, which I will do right now, just bear with me for a moment. We're going to look at the market sentiment, which we call the daily sentiment index, small trader sentiment. I'm going to put it on a screen. That's the wrong chart, just one moment. Let me go to a different chart. So we're going to be looking here at commercial activity, and we're going to, oh, here it is, sorry about that. I'm going to go, so this is my live screen, so excuse me if I make some mistakes. Let's go to the S&P. Just bear with me. And we're going to bring up the daily chart. And here we go. Look at what's going on here. Bear with me for a second. These are extreme lows in sentiment. Notice this big decline. In fact, let me forward to this decline. You can see what's happened. Small trader sentiment on this decline has dropped to its lowest level in a long time. And as of last week, to be specific, the 25th of August, small trader sentiment was 11.56 on a 3-period moving average. So that's where we stand, and you notice how that correlated with the low. Sentiment is still low. Market bottoms are made on low sentiment. Market tops are made on high sentiment. So that does it for today. Please remember to attend the Moving Average Channel webinar that Elliot and I are having. You'll learn a lot from it. Probably 6 or 7 different ways to use the Moving Average Channel. We like the tool. We've been using it for many, many years. Traders all over the world use it and swear by it, so instead of swearing at it. We love it. Have a good weekend, or what's left of it. Great trading to you. If you have any questions, drop us a line.